Okay, you've definitely heard of this one. It's been called a miracle drug, a total game changer for weight loss, for diabetes. The headlines are everywhere. The buzz is unavoidable. Semaglutide is, well, it's everywhere. But what's the real story behind all that hype? Today, we're going to cut through the noise and get to the truth about this pretty revolutionary medication.
Seriously, whether it's a news alert popping up on your phone or just a conversation you overhear, you really can't escape it. You probably know it by its brand names, Ozempic and Wegovy, and it has completely captured the world's attention with these promises of, truly life-changing results. But you gotta ask, is it all too good to be true?
All right, let's break it down. What is semaglutide really? Officially, it's a GLP-1 receptor agonist. Yeah, I know, that sounds super technical. But just think of it like this. Your body naturally makes a hormone that's kind of a master controller for your appetite and your blood sugar. Semaglutide is basically a copycat of that hormone, but it's way more powerful and lasts a lot longer. It's like a supercharged version of something your body already does. And that right there is the billion-dollar question, isn't it? The promises are massive, but we need more than just hype. To get to the actual truth, we've got to look past the anecdotes and dive straight into the hard scientific evidence. So let's do that. So how does this thing actually work its magic? Before we even get to the results, we have to understand what's going on inside your body. What's the mechanism that makes it all happen? This is a fantastic breakdown. Semaglutide basically launches this four-part attack on high blood sugar and weight gain. First, it nudges your pancreas to release more insulin right when you eat. Second, it cuts back on something called glucagon, and you can think of glucagon as the hormone that shouts, release more sugar into the blood. So less of that is definitely a good thing. Third, it sends signals to your brain that make you feel full. And finally, it actually slows down how quickly your stomach empties, so you physically stay full for longer. You put all that together, wow, that is a seriously powerful combination. Okay, so that's the science. It sounds great on paper, but does it actually deliver in the real world, for real people? Let's take a look at the data that has everyone so excited. This number, this is the one that really changed everything. A huge landmark study found that on average, people lost 15% of their body weight. Now, to put that into perspective for you, that's a level of effectiveness that we have just never seen before from a weight loss medication. It's not an exaggeration to call that a total game changer. But here's the crucial follow-up question, right? Does it last? A huge initial result is amazing, but for chronic conditions like obesity and diabetes, what really, truly matters is the long haul. Can people keep that weight off? And this is where it gets really, really interesting. This data is from a 3-year study. And just look at these numbers. At 6 months in, people had lost an average of 4.7 kilos. By 2 years, that number actually went up to 6 kilos. And even after a full 3 years, they were still keeping most of it off. That tells you this isn't just some quick fix. We're talking about sustained long-term results. The results are just incredible. There's really no other way to say it. But in medicine, there's always a trade-off. Anything that has such a powerful effect on your body has to have a flip side. So what's the catch? Okay, first up, let's talk about the common side effects. These are the things that a lot of people might run into, especially when they're first starting the medication. The biggest complaints are almost all related to your digestive system. We're talking about nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, that kind of stuff. As you can see, about 1 in 5 people experience some nausea. Now, the good news here is that for most people, these side effects are pretty mild, and they tend to fade away as their body gets used to the drug. But it's important to know that for some folks, it can be a real struggle at first. But it's not just about having an upset stomach. There are much more serious risks that you have to consider. Now, they're not nearly as common, but they are the reason this isn't some over-the-counter drug. This is the stuff in the fine print that you absolutely need to be aware of. This slide really lays it out clearly. On one side, you have those common, mostly manageable stomach issues. But on the other side, you have the really serious stuff, pancreatitis, which is a painful inflammation of the pancreas, gallbladder problems, and even a potential risk of certain thyroid tumors. These are the things that need immediate medical attention, no question. And because gallbladder issues are a known risk, you really need to know the warning signs. So listen up. If you feel a sharp pain in your upper right abdomen, maybe it spreads to your back, or you get a fever, or, and this is a big one,
your skin or eyes start to look yellowish, that is not a normal side effect. That is a major red flag, and you need to get medical help right away.
And then there's this. This is a direct quote from the FDA's black box warning. That's the most serious warning a medication can possibly have. In studies on rats, this drug caused thyroid tumors. Now, we don't know for sure if the same thing happens in humans, but the risk is taken so seriously that for certain people, this drug is completely off the table. So when you put it all together, the incredible, life-changing benefits on one side and these very serious risks on the other, who is this drug actually for? Well, one thing is for sure. This is a powerful medical tool. It is not a toy for losing a few pounds before vacation. Let me be as clear as I possibly can here. Despite all the media hype and its popularity, semaglutide is absolutely not for everyone. In fact, for some people, taking it could be downright dangerous. Because of that black box warning we just talked about, if you or anyone in your family has ever had a very specific type of thyroid cancer called medullary thyroid carcinoma, you cannot take this drug, period. The same goes if you have a rare condition called MEN2 or if you've ever had pancreatitis. These are absolute contraindications. They are non-negotiable. So what is the bottom line here? Semaglutide is, without a doubt, a powerful and potentially life-changing medication, but it does not come without serious risks. And that's why the single most important thing to take away from all of this is that the decision to take it is not one you should ever make on your own after reading something online. The only person who can help you weigh the pros and cons for your specific situation is your doctor. That is a conversation you absolutely need to have.